Hello and welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and I had a very interesting night. A very interesting night in that, for whatever reason, my brain was going like 10 miles a second, and I could not sleep. So my anxiety, for whatever reason, and I couldn't even tell you why, because it's not like there's anything in particular that's bothering me at the moment, aside from just, little bits of random anger, is just forcing me awake. And I'm not gonna lie, right now I'm feeling nervous and anxious for no reason. I'm feeling a little jittery because I've barely slept in the last 24 hours. It's not feeling good right now. I'm having a really weird day. Which means that today is your reminder to make sure you're taking care of yourself. If something feels off, don't feel as though you need to force yourself to continue to go through your routine, to try to force yourself into your obligations. If something feels off, like you know that you can't function normally, you can't think straight, you can't walk in a straight line, don't force yourself to push everything as business as usual, because that's just not going to be healthy for you. It's not going to be good for the people around you. It's just not good. Now, that roll was superficial because we've already done jazz 3 times in a row. Just so we know, it was jazz soundtracks again, but I'm sorry, I need to switch it up. I'm making my own choice today. After all, it is 3 times in a row. So, the hell with that. I'm going with my own ideas. Alright, so yesterday's run was a victory, albeit a iffy, kind of scary victory. So now, why don't I take a bit of a moment to do a run that uses Spark Array, and I'm looking over to see if I want to do it as the signature, or if I want to just do it as is. And I think as is, signature is the right answer. Because Spark Array is just a wonderful, wonderful piece of control. It does so much more than you would potentially give it credit for. And we will exemplify that by going in with something relatively to use. Something that, although not bad, is a bit limited in its scope. So basically strong, but short to mid-range. And I will kind of explain why Spark Array is amazing. Well, one thing you can combo Spark Array with is one of these charged attacks, because Spark Array gives you plenty of time to charge them. It gives you good burst damage opportunities, like things like Inferno Cannon, Blazing Lariat, stuff like that. Because just about all the enemies around you are going to be being held still. But yeah, we'll go ahead and grab Raging Inferno. I don't grab Raging Inferno often, but this seems like a good time for it. Now, what do we do as our basic? Our basic should be there to help keep us in control and give us something to work with when things aren't looking so good. And I've most recently gone with Frostblade for that. Bolt Rail is typically good for that because it keeps enemies at arm's length. I'm already going with a lot of lightning, so let's go with a good standby. Yeah, Air Spinner is one of my favorites for a good reason. And as I've said before, I typically tend not to use my Chaos Arcana, partially because I feel as though those are best used for other types of run other than what I typically do. And that's mostly because they come already upgraded. So it just feels strange to use those and then still go with the retro floor plan, even though I know there's nothing actually wrong with that. It's just a preference thing. But also, I try not to do a ton of builds that not everyone can do, so that way, when people see my builds and go, oh hey, that's neat, I want to make it so that everyone can get in on the fun. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with Family Seal, because the more spark array, the better. So then the obvious question would be, well, why not just go with the Fury Robe? The reason for that is because we don't necessarily want... And actually, I am going to change my main robe. We're going to go ahead and go with Awe. But, yeah, it's not... Fury Robe is good for spamming other signatures. These would be things like, you know, you want to spam Aqua Beam, you want to spam Flame Cleaver, you want to spam Seismic Entry, things like that. Things that are good at just doing tons and tons of damage. This is something that you use not because it's damaging, but because it's controlling. And that goes equally true for bosses as it does for the enemies. This is a very good all-around spell. I think the best way to really show it off is to make it so that enemies that aren't immune to electricity come at spot numbers 2 and 3. But as you can see, the idea is you throw it out ahead of yourself to stun enemies. Each spark goes through enemies. It can hit them multiple times, but the whole idea is that you want to be using something that I may or may not go with Boulder, depending on what the rest of the what the rest of the floor looks like. But you want that thrown out there so you have time to work on other things. And of course, when it's enhanced, it sends those final bolts right back to where you're standing. The sparks act as great shields for enemy missiles. Yeah, I think I like Strongman's Hammer. We're gonna grab that. Okay, yeah, taking 2 hits from those guys is terrible. Even against enemies that don't take the extra damage from being shocked, it still knocks them out of whatever it is they're doing, and it can either interrupt attacks or at least give you a moment to breathe. And especially when you've got retro floor plan going and you've got an entire mob of, you know, just for, let's just say for sake of argument, Trump supporters bearing down on you. You can at least stop them for a moment and give yourself some time to breathe and figure out how to deal with whatever's coming up. Hopefully you're all okay with that reference. You're not like too angry at me getting the least bit political in my videos. Well, I don't have anything that's melee in this build, so Dark Katana probably isn't the best choice. I think I'm going to grab that. And yeah, we'll grab the rock. So as you can see, being able to launch a lot of sparks like that gives you a lot of defense from a lot of things. Especially since your sparks will take priority over a good number of enemy projectiles before they're forced to dissipate. And because they're slow moving, you can set up things with that. Force enemies to walk into them. Okay, I will decide whether or not I want Volatile Gemstone, which I might because I'm not necessarily looking for damage out of my signature. I'm looking for control. Yeah, obviously I'm still not necessarily playing at my best right now, so you'll have to forgive me. Radiant Beat is a maybe, but I am kind of getting kicked around a little bit, so I need to decide based upon other factors what I want to pick up. Okay. Obviously, the problems I was having yesterday are still filtering through onto today, making me want to double down on that self-care message. Because frankly, we could use it. Okay, I am going to go ahead and grab Radiant Beat. I think I am going to grab the Volatile Gemstone. I'll grab it. I do think for this run, Dragon Dive is the better option between that and Knockout Boulder. So, we'll take it. Inferno Ray. I'll take it over the the Knockout Boulder, mostly because I just don't think the Knockout Boulder is going to be that useful. Actually, here we go. Alright, so relics are in short supply. Okay. Yeah, even on level 2, I still find Atlas's level to be a bit scary. Okay, so we'll see if the doctor has anything good for us later. I haven't even found Iris yet. See, I like that. Matter of fact, we can take advantage of Dr. Song's kindness now. Oh, except for I don't want to get rid of that. Well, crap. Alright, well, we know we have one freebie that we can use. The reason why I'm not too worried about losing damage on this particular special is because it was never designed with heavy damage in mind, at least not for big numbers. Also, Earth Knights are the worst, and I will hear nothing different. Hey, can we not have weird, unfair range, please? Thank you. Yes, my attack comes out strictly at melee range, but because my partner has one hand up my ass and is constantly pushing me forward, that range extends to about 30 to 40 miles in front of me. Like a strange demonic stone marionette. And also exactly what I don't need right now. Jerks. That'll help. Like, I might not necessarily be feeling my best right now, but one thing that I will advocate on is the idea that playing with the retro floor plan going is harder than normal just because there's so many more targets on screen. So even though they have less health, you simply face just getting pounded on more and more by them. I don't know if I'm going to need that or not, but better safe than sorry. No thanks, Iris. Especially because you have a couple of things here that I find to be like the rare things that I look at and actually find to be laughable to use. Like, I'm normally the type of person that'll say, you know what, if it's working for you, then more power to you. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. However, there are a select few spells in the game that I look at and go, yeah, you shouldn't be using that. And if Captain Experimentation is having a hard time figuring out the best way to use a spell, you know you're in trouble. I don't know if I have anything I want to sell you right now. That may change later, but right now I'm good. Help me, Captain Experimentation. I'm having a hard time figuring out the best way to use Surge Anchor. Ah, thank you for coming to me, my child. I've been waiting for a chance to test my deletion shears. Oh, that was awful. God damn it. And of course, the deletion shears come in two sizes, regular and dead cells. Oh, perfect. I like how that's working out. And actually, because of the way that the run has been working, Blades of Sympathy seems like a great pickup because we'll be hitting lots of enemies after they've, hit me and then run off. That was not smart of me. Volt Tracer is okay, but I'm more than happy with what I currently have. Okay, all this electricity is going to do me a lot of good here. Okay, stop. Oh, they... Stop deleting my fucking spells. Fuck you. Yeah, I will say that I am still angry, but it's not to the point where it was yesterday. Today it's more so I'm scared and confused about what my brain is doing. Like, it's very rare that my anxiety makes it so that I just can't sleep. So, yeah, I will say that last night is definitely an anomaly. One that I really hope I don't have to, I really hope doesn't get repeated. Now, one thing to bring up is that I am out of one of my meds, and that might be causing more problems than I'm thinking it would. But I'm hoping none of that has detracted from why I think Spark Array is such a strong spell. And for those of you who already know and agree, I mean, obviously I'm preaching to the choir here. But for those of you who haven't considered it and are looking for a good control method, I'm hoping that this gives you plenty to think about. I like bubbles, but I don't think I need them for this run. God, I hate elemental summoners. Hey, could you perhaps... Tea of Mercy is a decent soft synergy with Blades of Sympathy, but could we perhaps get something a little bit more usable? I screwed up. I'll grab it. I'm not sure it's going to be that useful, though. 551 damage. God. Completely unacceptable. Can't be taking that much damage. Get rid of that, take that. God, I hate I hate ice elemental archers. Like, there's a lot of just straight up hate going on right now. Hopefully you can all understand why. And the answer is mostly my anxieties are telling me that everything should be answered with hate. And I hate that in and of itself. Which, I'm just going to circle that right back around to what I said at the very beginning of the video. Make sure you're doing what you can to take care of yourselves. I screwed up by not making sure that I had enough of my medication, and it is causing me problems right now. So, don't do what I did. Be responsible. Make sure you're taking care of things before they become problems instead of waiting for them to become problems. And you know, if you're having a hard time loving yourself as of yet, at least make sure you're respecting yourself. I think that's where I'm running into my problems, is that let's just be real honest, I don't exactly have the strongest sense of self-esteem. Okay, I think with that drop, I can probably drop the Blades of Sympathy and take Jade's Chakra Locket at this point. See what I mean about how they interrupt enemy projectiles? And yes, I was kind of having a field day waiting for that specific example. Okay, stupid mortar fire bastards. Alright. Go ahead and take a risk. There we go. Yeah, I kind of disagree with that game, but okay. Damn it. Well, hopefully I've given you guys plenty of reasons to learn not to stand near walls. At least with Retro Floor Plan on. But yeah, honestly, I felt that was a clean enough victory. There were some messy spots, but nothing that I couldn't come back from, and it does feel pretty good to get a victory like that. So this probably isn't even the first time I've done a Spark Array video, but it is one that I made while under admittedly personal duress, so I hope this one kind of hits home a little bit as to why I like Spark Array so much. But if nothing else that you take away from this video, I want you to take away from it the idea that to make sure that you're focusing on taking care of yourself. Make sure that you are loved, that the people around you care for you. Don't ever look at your situation and say, well, this can't be helped, because it can. There are people out there that will care for you. Trust me. It seems like they're impossible to find sometimes, but trust me, they're out there. And I hope you don't fall into that trap of thinking that nobody cares. I sometimes fall into that trap myself, and especially when things are as questionable as they've been lately, it can be real hard to pick yourself out of that trap. But don't let it happen to you. Someone cares. And if you don't know who that is, then maybe you need to find someone that does. Just understand that whatever's going on, I'm in your corner, okay? I'm in your corner. But that's going to do it for me today. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate you continuing to stop in and spend your free time with me. The YouTube 5-step is the best way to get a brother noticed in the current YouTube climate. And if you don't know what the YouTube 5-step is, it's like, comment, subscribe, share, and ring the bell. Because, just simply watching someone's videos and going, yeah, that's pretty cool, that's not enough for Google. Because they want you to spend your fucking life doing things. I'm sorry, I started to get angry, and even though I don't agree with Google, maybe it's not the best time to rant, so I hope you're all having a fantastic day or night wherever you may happen to be, and I will catch you in the next one. My name is Dark Sage Walker, and take care.